Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lance, and look, today we got a wild one, okay? We got Joe Rogan, we got Bill Burr, and it looks like Bill Burr is going to be talking about outrage culture. This is going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. Let's ride.
Women that want to push this and men who are bitches. It's like these men that don't like aggressive. They don't like aggressive men. They don't like manly men. And so they push it as well.
No, because they're aggressive and they're controlling and they want to run shit. And that's because that's the thing where, like, if you really look at their agenda, when they say the future is feminine, that's not inclusive. And they're all about, oh, make this more inclusive. It's like, no, let us in so we can take it over and then we'll push you down.
Yeah, boy.
Is the psychology of the kind of person that goes after that, someone that's after, like, power. I'm not saying the average woman is like that. My wife is a feminist and she's into, like, inclusive shit. But, like, people who are spearheading stuff.
Yes.
Like, those people are wired the same way, like, you know, I mean.
A dominator is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be no room for you. It's going to be like, think the way, like, a lot of that so-called progressives, extreme left is think the way we think, say what we say, or we will fucking destroy you.
Oh my God! Wow!
Pull up that tweet that I retweeted today, the David Pakman retweet. David Pakman is this liberal progressive guy. This woman posts on Twitter she would never vote for a man or a white man or a white person, white or male, someone who's white or male. He says that's racist and sexist. It is. So she blocks him on Twitter. Today, she called Boston College demanding that they not have him back as adjunct faculty. It's crazy. So this woman posts this, and he points out that it's racist and sexist. So she blocks him, and she tries to get him fired.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay, this is why that whole thing is fucked up. Okay, because he's acting like white people exist on an even plane, which a lot of people try to do. So it's like,
but he's not necessarily. He's just saying that what she's saying is racist and sexist.
Yes,
because she's determining who she's going to vote for based entirely on their race.
Yes, but there's other elements involved, like the level that white people, not saying all white people, but white people have fucked over people who are not white. Forget about poor white people who they fucked over. So you understand that, but they're both right. But then, like, the fact that she then takes it to the point that because he had the audacity to have a difference of an opinion, that's the thing now, and that now we're going to destroy you and you can't be on this thing. And then the other level of that is how the corporate entities are so afraid that one fucking nickel is going to roll out the door. Because all of this shit is you're just a paper tiger until...
Yeah, I mean, as a brother, I don't know how I'm going to speak on this. I'm just going to be honest. Look, if you are a Caucasian person, let me know your opinion in the comment section below. If you're a Caucasian, just let me know your comment section below. You know, I speak on things that I feel like, you know, I have some knowledge of, but look, yeah, let me know what you think about this. Back to the video.
You get the big behemoth to listen to you. And there's all of these fucking things, from award shows to this bullshit, that someone just needs to be like, listen, this guy already apologized. This is an old fucking thing. Or, look, you just had a difference of opinion. That you know, this isn't the first time you're going to say something and somebody's going to disagree with you. That doesn't mean that this guy can't come back. You know, and you obviously, because of some shit that's happened to you, have an extreme opinion about this guy because of the color of his skin.
Now, I will say, of course, I'm against, you know, any sort of prejudice, right? You know, obviously that's not right. But where I kind of want you guys' input is, you know, at what point do we start and we stop with the artificial BS and just start looking at people's character, right? At what point are we doing that? We're in 2024. Why are we even still having these conversations? Why are we still having these conversations? What's going on, right? But again, these are, you know, the type of conversations, I mean, maybe we have to have them. Maybe we have to have them. And I feel like, with this election coming up soon, I feel like there's definitely a turn in the tide for sure. But back to the video. Let's see what he has to say.
And it's like there's so many fucked up elements to that, but for some reason you can't, like, if you address that on any level, then you're part of the problem. And
well,
then
it's not just part of the problem. She's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for pointing out that something is racist.
No,
and
I'm saying
sexist.
if you say what I just said, try to look at it 360.
Oh yeah, and you're
as much as I can, which is why I love South Park, because everything that they do it 360, right? And so I learned a lot from that show by the way they look at stuff like that, because I don't fucking know everything. But even just to try to be like, well, hey, insulted him a little bit. I understand what you're saying and blah, blah, blah. You can't fucking do that anymore, because then you're part of the fucking problem. And no, it's really gotten crazy. It's gotten to the point, like, I've seen, I'm not going to name names, but I've seen, like, a tweet from a fellow comic telling comics what jokes you shouldn't talk about this topic. What the fuck? It's like, who the fuck are you? It's like, there's already going to be enough people doing that. You're going to do, like, cannibalism now?
Have you really? You've really seen comics say that?
Yeah.
Real comics?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their opinion on somebody's fucking act, but I mean, yeah.
That's ridiculous. That's not a real comic.
Well, I wouldn't say that. They are a real comic. They just have an opinion I don't agree with.
They can fuck off.
Yeah, well, I mean. I'm trying to have less confrontations.
But I understand.
In my life here.
That kind of shit drives me crazy, though. What drives me most crazy is this bullying. Like, she's trying to get him fired. She's trying to get him fired for having an opinion on something that she publicly stated.
One of these, somebody running one of these things has to be like, and it can't just be private. It has to be a public tweet to say that it's just going too far. And this fucking thing where you have a difference of an opinion now, and they're just going to, take your fucking job away. I ran into this shit, when the MeToo stuff first started coming out, people would try to like...
Oh, that was the worst. That was the worst. When that MeToo stuff started coming up, and I remember they even tried to cancel Dave Chappelle, and that didn't work out at all. Netflix was like, yeah, right. Like, come on, grow a pair. And it's that sensitivity soft BS, right? It's that sensitivity, sorry, excuse me, I'm just gonna be nice to you, BS. And we need real men. We need people we need that real again, man. We're missing that. People can't take a freaking joke these days. Everything's so sensitive. Oh, I don't want to hurt your feelings, right? And I understand the other side of it in terms of, don't be, a freaking, what, right? Still treat people with some sort of respect. Absolutely. But come on, back to the video.
You had to tweet the right fucking thing, and if you said anything sort of, let's look at the evidence. God forbid you fucking said that. It just became like this whole, you're part of the problem. And then they would try to take you down, or someone you were friends with, or doing a show with, or represented by. They would try to do like that pressure to try, and it was just like, and all you had to say is like, no, I'm not doing that. And then it just goes away because you don't have a fucking leg to stand on.
Well, also the people that are doing it, it's a small percentage it's a very
unbelievably small.
Yeah.
Unbelievably small. And comics, it's like we're literally running for office. We're out there campaigning for this election that never happens. And you're going through red states, blue states, you're going through fucking everything. And the general consensus of people is like, dude, that was fucking crazy. Like that doesn't make sense. But no one wants to say it because they're going to get steamrolled.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Well, you saw what happened to Matt Damon, right? Matt Damon said we have to make a differentiation between the Harvey Weinsteins in the world and then someone who, like Aziz Ansari, goes on a bad date. There's a big difference between those two. And they attacked him, and they tried to get him pulled off of that movie, Ocean's 8.
Yeah, and they were acting like that, like killing somebody versus stealing a car versus jaywalking. Like literally the whole judicial system is based on what you did is your punishment. Your parents do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How bad was what you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what that sounded like.
Exactly.
And we live in a world now where I have to be measured in the way that I say that what he said, affected me, how I heard it, and then I was like, this is just a typical fucking bald white male.
Yep.
And they go in that route. It's like you literally sound like what the fuck you're against, and it's not going to last. And I feel like it's like the end of the winter, and people want to go outside and get some sun on their face, and taking people by the back of their fucking neck and fucking.
I do agree. All that MeToo stuff, all that other stuff, I think it definitely died down. And I definitely feel that a lot of people are starting to we just want that real back, right? None of that soft cookie cream, ice cream BS, right? So I definitely agree with them here. I think it's already dying down, but we'll see. We'll see. Stay tuned. Back to the video.
Shoving their face in the shit, that you can't sustain that.
No.
You can't sustain it. It doesn't.
It doesn't work. You don't get people to change by yelling at them. Doesn't work.
Or bombing them, like what the fuck we're doing. Like, that's not, all you're doing is you're just building up resentment, and more people want to fucking take you down. So that's like...
they don't understand psychology. So what they think is this is their time. This is their time to get back at men. This is their time to yell at men. This is the time to wear the Future's Feminine t-shirts. This is the time to take their stand. And did you not see the Women's March? Saw a bunch of people walking.
Right. Listen, I'm not saying the points that they're making don't need to be made. I'm not saying that their complaints are not just. It's the execution of it.
Yes.
Where it's like you're going to go through intimidation and destroying people, like
exactly
people's careers, and people, you have to publicly apologize. It's like
they're bullying people.
Yes. Some of the biggest bullies right now, I can't believe it because I'm a lefty, are on my side of the fucking fence. And, when someone's on your side of the fence and you're looking at them like you sound like a fucking crazy person, that's when you've entered, like, what was your special? Strange Times?
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Like, it's like.
It is strange. Yeah.
It is strange because it's.
They feel like they're justified because they feel like with a maniac like Trump in the office that they have to do what they have to do to change the world. But you don't change the world by yelling at people. It doesn't work that way. And there's real points to be made. There's real points about, I couldn't imagine being a woman working in an office with a bunch of guys trying to fuck you all the time. It's got to be a goddamn nightmare. I can't imagine having a bunch of bosses that literally tell you suck my dick, I'll give you a raise. Like, that happens. It's fucking, it's got to be hell. I get it. I mean, I get it.
But you
from
have to
top
be,
to
you got to
bottom.
be like an 8 though, 8 on up to deal with that every day. I mean, let's.
Yeah, you do. You do. Actually, no. 8. Drop in the comment section below what you think. I think a good amount of women deal with that these days, right? So anyway, I'm not a dating coach, but back to the video. Let's see what he has to say here.
Be fucking honest. You know what I mean? There's really
some 6s out there.
There's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
If you got to the gym a lot.
There have to be 8.
Got a nice ass.
That's all they want.
I'm just saying, it's just like some of that shit is like fucking, it's I always viewed it like you ever watch like the behind the scenes of like a prison, and the first thing every guy thinks is how the fuck would I not get raped in there, right?
Exactly.
Women have to think that just fucking walking down the street. So that's how I wrap my head around to be like, wow, okay, like what they're saying is like, because I don't like a lot of the arguments, I'm not like, that doesn't make sense. It's what doesn't make sense to me is the children of the corn fucking torches burning and just go like the way that just I mean, a lot of people like they do that with like our foreign policy. Like this whole fucking thing has bankrupted this country. Every August now they just shut down the government, which has just become normal, and all they do to make it like okay is they just raise the level of debt that we legally can take on or whatever. And it's like, all right, let's do this for another year. And if you question any of that, that means you don't support the troops and you're a fucking piece of shit and you need to get the fuck out of here. And it's like, So much stuff doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just saw Michelle Obama. They had this fucking tweet of her wearing these glitter thigh-high boots and said, sets Twitter on fire with her $4,000 fucking boots. And it's just like, you know, do you don't question where she got that money? The president makes $500,000 a year. She blew $4,000 on thigh-high boots. And don't even talk to me about the fucking book deal and all of that shit. That fucking guy, his first like 2, you know, public speaking engagement things were like with major banks. And you go out on the
Hundreds of
road,
thousands of dollars.
and all these guys are like fucking. All these fellow Americans are upside down in the house from all those fucking banker cunts who did not get punished in 2008. They all. You want to talk about like people who should have had their fucking lives burned down? Those people. And these guys, they have their faces in the same fucking pig trough as the guys with the red ties. And for whatever reason, like, I don't know why, like, they get a pass.
Exactly. And
It doesn't make
not
any
just on that.
sense.
How
And
about
then-
more serious shit like drone strikes? More innocent civilians were killed with drone strikes during Obama's administration.
I know, and
than
that's
were
why
ever
they're telling
killed.
me you're fighting terrorism while you're creating more of it. Because all I would want to do is just get revenge.
Exactly.
And, you know, I have very simplistic ways of how to get the fuck out of there.
How do you do it?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying the air would be cleaner because I don't know what, like, when you throw a Tesla battery into the fucking ocean, what that does to it. I'm sure it's fucking horrible. But I know that they're a one-stop shop over there in the Middle East. They got oil and that's it, you know? I always compare them. Remember that kiosk in, like, the South Shore Plaza in Boston? There was it was a place called Wicks and Sticks. All they did was sell candles. Which just seemed like a really vulnerable business.
Yeah.
Or pewter pot. First they just sold muffins.
Yeah.
And then they started doing full breakfasts. Well, they're like a pewter pot. They're just selling muffins. So if we stop buying muffins, and we got enough oil here, if we switch to solar power and all that shit, I know the windmills are ugly, and I know that's probably just as much fucking bad on the environment. But what it does is it gets you out of there. And
Yeah.
it bankrupts them, and then they don't have the money.
Not everybody can switch to solar. Yeah, there's a lot of stipulations with that, and you gotta live in the right area. I mean, there's just so much around that. But I hear what he's saying. I hear his point. And but yeah, it's man, it's just such a different environment, you know, we live in today. And just to address the point of, you know, Michelle and all that stuff, and I mean, I got to give him some pushback there. I'm not looking at her $4,000, $5,000 shoes, like, and I'm like wondering where she got her money. Wherever you got your dough is where you got your dough, and I'm focused on how can I get mine, right? Drop an amen in the comment section if you agree with me, right? We focused on how we can get ours, right? So, and I'm not knocking him, by the way. I get it, you know, it's you know, it's entertainment and everything like that, but yeah, back to the video.
To funnel through the mosque to fund the terrorists.
Well, the United States is exporting oil now, which is crazy. I mean, we have a lot of oil,
Right.
and especially through, you know, fracking.
But I'm
and all
just
the
saying, but if
creepy
you ever
methods.
suggested that,
Yeah.
which I think I just did, I think then for some reason I don't love my country, and like I'm trying to solve it. I'm a frugal guy. You know, I don't fucking, you know, I don't spend beyond my means. And, you know, I don't like debt and that type of shit. I don't know how the fuck these guys, I think that's why the president ages so much.
Well, they don't get
don't
any
know.
sleep. The pressure. You imagine
The dead bodies,
everything.
all of that.
Oh, just knowing how everything really works.
Oh, yeah.
Trump doesn't seem to mind. He just takes an extra Adderall, keeps on trucking. He doesn't seem like he's all the scandals. That guy seems completely
Because
normal.
I think he's a certain level sick mentally that it doesn't
doesn't get
it
in.
doesn't get in. I mean,
No.
because he hasn't aged at all. Now, granted, he's got all that white stuff around his eyes, and you know, I
Yeah.
don't know what he's doing with the hair, but the hair is usually the telltale sign. But I
Right,
think
it goes gray. Yeah. He's
yeah.
one of the only presidents that you know. It's like half of that shit's probably from a doll. Like who knows where that?
Well,
hair's
he's got
even
enough
coming
money
from.
to do like a transplant at this point, right?
You can't do a transplant on that thing. He
What do you
doesn't
mean?
have any. He doesn't have any donor area.
What do you mean? He's got it all in the back, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. You ever see what happens when it flies up in the back when the wind hits it? The back's all bald.
Oh, because he probably did the original plugs and they didn't take.
Who knows
Nah,
what
they're
he's got
looking
going
out.
on back there? He's got chaos going on back there. You ever seen it?
Yeah, I mean, he's the
The
president.
wind hits it and his hair flops up. But you ever seen the video of him? It looks he's a guy wearing a demon, like
Yeah,
a,
it's
like a
wisp-
demon
it's
wearing a
very
human
wispy.
mask.
It's very wispy.
Not just wispy, like it's missing, like
Dude,
Chernobyl,
you know what'd be
baby.
nuts? Do you know it'd be nuts if he gets his second term and he shaves his head
That would be nuts.
and he would just look like the most evil fucking.
Pause up. Leave Trump alone. Leave Trump alone. All right, here we go. All right, so what's my opinion? All right, gather around, gather around. So ultimately, you know, I'm kind of, I mean, I agree with some of the points that Bill says, but not all of them. I'm kind of in the mid. Like I again, for me, I mean, he addressed a lot of different points. One of them being like, first of all, again, the way somebody gets successful and makes their money, that's the way that's what they do, right? We're gonna let them rock. We're gonna let them do what they do, you know. But for me, I just feel like, you know, I can only speak on myself. I'm just focused on, and I think maybe you guys could relate, right? I mean, we're focused on our own grind. I feel like a lot of people, especially now that the election's coming up, I think people are going to start to look at themselves. I think people are going to start to look at, you know, my vote. I never cared about my vote before. All this stuff didn't matter before. But you know what? I think I'm going to actually, I think it matters. I think it matters now, right? Because, you know, ultimately the way I see it is, if everybody's thinking that way, you know, nothing's going to get done. So anyway, I don't want to get too much off topic, right? But guys, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate the support. Make sure you slap the like button, kick the subscribe button for more. Let me know in your comments section. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Bill Burr here. And do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him on some of the points he made? Until next time, peace.